welcome back to week 11 of the Quake Pro League. It has been a bit hectic here, Dan, so I think we're going to bring in the birthday boy. Just turned 21. Let's get Papa Weed in here, get some order restored to the cast.
Just to get a little more hectic, 40, because I didn't make some very good life choices last night. 21th birthday and 21 shots, right? So
got to.
Kind of feeling it this morning. Actually, psych, no, I'm not. I'm feeling great. I'm ready to do some Quake. Let's go. Nice to be back. Thanks for the birthday wishes.
Yeah, always glad to have you back, Weed. It's always a pleasure, and we're about to get into nosfa versus RAISY, and this one should be pretty good. I mean, Dan, how do you feel about nosfa going up against the beast that is RAISY?
I think that's the point, right? RAISY is a beast, so it's an uphill battle for nosfa. I think he's having his best stage pretty much to date since one of the first to shrank mid-cast. Having the best stage.
And I'm trying to get up to where you are. I'm trying to get on your level.
Literally deflating before Rise. But no, he's having his best stage since he based his inception in the league. But he's going up against RAISY, who there's very few players you've ever come up against RAISY. You wouldn't favor RAISY to win or at least go for a clean sweep. So it's a hard one for nosfa for sure, but look at those results. He's had a really strong season so far, only losing out to Kilson, Maxter, and not surprisingly now in context, Sirius. So it's been a really good stage for him so far.
Wait, any thoughts on nosfa?
I mean, yeah, even though you look at their rankings, number 9 versus number 4, RAISY, they're still looking about the same in terms of overall record, right? Both played 5 games. nosfa has another loss, but just like Dan pointed out, those losses are, those aren't walkovers by any means. Those are tough matches, good opponents. So I'm hoping that we get a really solid game. Now, RAISY, I think he's been having a pretty decent stage. There's others that might say, oh, where's the RAISY from the last couple seasons? And we've seen some of the greats in this game go through, not their best games, not their worst games, but we're all like newbies commenting on this, right? So like, as far as I'm concerned, both these players still look amazing. RAISY's in that bucket as well. Had a loss versus Kilson, loss versus Strong Sage. I think that surprised everyone, but what hasn't been surprising is just Strong Sage's overall performance this stage. I mean, I guess it is surprising, but I think a lot of us coming off of last season thought, this is someone you need to take a look at. But look at that, 3-0. Like, how can you argue with what you've got here on paper? I feel like RAISY's got this one.
Yeah, absolute beast. Looking at that track record this season, Strong Sage definitely was a surprise and a shock to most of us. Kilson, maybe not so much. It was still a battle, but every win except for that Avik win at the end there, 3-0. Just dominance from RAISY. Looking to add on to it here against nosfa, but again, as you guys pointed out, nosfa having a solid season himself, all from the luxury of a public library. Anyways, let's get into the pick bands here and get a better picture of what's going to go down between these two players as we take a look. Blood Covenant, Veil of Nath, and Ruins of Sarnath. Dan, can you take the chair picks for me, buddy? Thank you.
Carry on. You're doing great.
All right, the Clutch band comes out, which is obviously a respect band. Very important. We got Slash versus Anarchy on Blood Covenant, high-speed action. Then we're going to jump over to Ranger versus BJ and round it out with a little bit of Visor versus Nyx, the classic this time on Ruins.
Yeah, it's...
I was going to say, the floor is open now, gentlemen. Anybody?
Yeah, they opted for speed versus speed on map 1, leaving in Nyx, even the Athena open. So that's an interesting choice right there. Looking to combat, looking to play a bit more aggressive on that one. So bit more unusual, but still very, very good picks for the map, as we know. Veil picked up from RAISY. Interesting. Not sure we see him pick that an awful lot. And he's actually opted for the BJ there. Again, the Ison's left out there as well. So that's he's looking to fight today, it seems, and then ending up in Ruins of Zona, as you said. So I really like the next pick there. Obviously, the Visor is still a great utility on that particular map. You just have to play slow, likely play around one of the major items, just play around your ability and try not get caught off guard.
Sorry, I was going to say something earlier, but I'm at the library and this woman keeps looking over me and so I completely agree with everything that you said, ZSX. The one that I think is roughest is, I really do think RAISY on the Nyx on Ruins is going to be pretty rough for nosfa. So if I was to look at this, I think there's a 3-0 potential here from RAISY. What I would love is that oh shit nail biter like 2-1 third game decider. And can nosfa bring that? I think that's the big question. But I think map 1 looks pretty great too in terms of what we're going to see. Of course, the last time that we had 2 champs like this on Blood Covenant, we also had the slowest game I'd ever seen, which is good. It made it really interesting, but you just never know what you're going to get.
Dan, real quick before I boot you out so you can go drink your blended chicken, who do you think's going to take this one?
I think RAISY's going to take it. I'm gonna say 3-0 as well. I think nosfa's had a great season, but the former RAISY's there.
You think he's going to run into the brick wall? All right, well, Dan, we'll get rid of you, and then we could talk about predictions in private here. Dan, we'll see you in a little bit, buddy.
All right.
I think I heard something. I don't know. There's like an echo.
I don't
throughout
know.
the caverns here. I don't know.
I didn't realize that the background cycled along with what my actual weather is all the time. So it is raining, and here in the Midwest, it's a little nutty. But how you doing, 40?
Doing well. Doing well. Can't complain. It's always a good day when there's Quake here. Again, where the countdown to Quake World Finals in Texas is happening. These players are trying to do their best to get that first round bye, get the highest seeding they can, and then we all pack into an arena, which I haven't done in, 3-4 years now? It's
What's an arena?
Awesome. Yeah.
40,
What's people?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that. Not only that, 40, but the consistent storyline that we've been seeing throughout the stage is that everyone's playing out of their minds, right? And I can't wait till we get back that LAN environment, get the crowd out there. That'll be new to some players, or some players a little bit more accustomed to that. It does become one additional factor into playing a championship tournament at something like QuakeCon, but I can smell it already.
It's gonna be great.
Maybe that was
please God bring deodorant and everybody else.
Yeah. I smell the pizza. Yeah.
That's what it is. Anyways, we are live on the first featured match for Week 11, nosfa versus RAISY on Blood Covenant. We're going to start off with nosfa, a little bit of a skirmish right off the bat there, just to put a little pressure on and scare nosfa, keep him honest.
Gotta keep him honest already. And nosfa heading over to try to get that rail. Guys, talk a little bit about the importance of having a rail on this map and what happens when you don't have one. So nosfa's in that position right now. He's still kind of looking. He's got an idea that maybe RAISY is going to try to keep him away from that, but he'll finally go over and scoop it up. No problem. Easy peasy. So 30 seconds. He lands the first rail coming out of the gates. Looks like he wants to follow up on this one too, 40. I like it. Trail coming out. We do see the eject. Nice little rocket bounce, but can't follow up with that rail, and that one is not going to work out for him.
Definitely wanted a little more than that, but at the very least, I guess, did bully him off the Mega. Sees him go back, so now this should be a clean path for the Heavy. He's going to hang in there and take too many rails, and now he's got to make a quick beeline to this Heavy, and he can still go down. RAISY right on his ass, and there it is. That was the risk he was willing to take by hanging in there with those rails.
I mean, might as well just been a mind reader, right? And I think that just goes to show RAISY's in top form right now. It was just absolutely perfect in terms of reading his opponent, what he was going to do, and then had the right weapon out. Perfect with the LG. So nicely done. Picks up another one on the conversion, and a minute 20 in, and RAISY's already looking to say, hey, I would like to just grab some control early on, get this lead, and then kind of chill for the remainder of the game. Of course, they're still so early, and you can't count out nosfa, but RAISY looks like he is definitely playing like a robot this morning.
Absolutely. Speed demon robot as well.
Yep.
He's going to claim this upper light armor. It's in the vicinity to see timing on the Mega. Going to drop down, make sure that inject up. And all in all, he doesn't really care. Add a delay, don't add a delay. I'm going to set up position here on this Heavy. Did nosfa see the shoulder? He may have, but now he definitely saw and felt the LG here as RAISY was trying to set up a bit of a trap there on the exit from rockets. Dropping down, rails exchange, nothing landing here as RAISY taking a sweet time to pick up that Heavy and add a delay between the items.
So happy with this 2 frags so far here. Unfortunate miss there as he sees nosfa crouching over the back hallways at the top of DM6. 2.5 minutes in. Tribolt can't do work, and nosfa's putting himself out there despite the fact that those rails keep on hitting. That one finally does connect. Can't hit another one as RAISY going to keep that pressure on. Perfect timing there of that Heavy 40. And, you know, so far, given that nosfa's down by 2, oh, hold on, we got a big rocket jump coming in. The trail does come out, and that shotgun blast still stung quite a bit. And what I was going to say is that despite the fact nosfa down 2, I feel like he's playing pretty conservative, but can't play conservative enough. A great angle there by RAISY for frag number 3 with the rail.
Yeah, just get flipped in the toesies right now, and I don't want to point out anything horrible, but 3 for 14, nosfa rail, you got to pick that up. That is going to cost him badly throughout this map. Your 320 in, RAISY, firm 3-0 lead, upping on some rails here, injecting across, trying to take control of the map here. Might catch him out. nosfa just barely gets away from that rocket damage.
Yeah, kind of, I don't know, jumping to maybe throw his opponent off a little bit. Hard to try to trick RAISY as he finds and tracks nosfa for frag number 4. Caught him with that LG. And look at that, knew his opponent coming through that teleporter. Great rail. And RAISY's just in full control right now.
Yeah, this is scary end boss RAISY that you do not want to go up against right now. Nice rail from nosfa, but he's going to need a lot more than that. RAISY denying the upper light before making his way back to the mega and having plenty of time to circle back for the heavy. Again, keeping an iron grip across all the resources on the map.
Iron grip indeed. That robot hand. He got clutch got banned,
glove.
but that didn't stop RAISY from showing up in a giant mech suit today. We got 420 on the clock, and there's another nice rocket as RAISY's just been dictating these battles from start to finish. 40. I mean, you know, an engagement. He's caught nosfa out. Like, I don't know that I've seen a battle that has begun with nosfa. Most of the time, it's RAISY kind of throwing his opponent off guard, and then him having to be in this defensive mode. So RAISY, I think, is someone who's always going to be comfortable, and we might even see his best version of himself when he is in the lead. And frankly, for me, like, that's when he's scariest.
Yeah, a confident RAISY that's in the lead, that's when the gauntlet comes out, that's when the pain train happens. You don't want that. You could see more and more rocket jumps coming out from RAISY, feeling more comfortable controlling the map, hitting his rails, and it's only going to get harder for nosfa, but great tri-bolt, but again, right before the mega pickup, so RAISY negates all that damage with one single pickup.
Yeah, that like feels bad, man. You know, because you got to ask yourself, you're halfway through this game, what am I going to do to not only surprise RAISY, take a frag, and then try to regain control here in the map? It's going to take some nice placed rails. He does finally land one. If he could just set up some sort of trap, but once again, as you mentioned, there's a nice little rocket jump. Tries to take him by surprise. He will drop down, doesn't really have a great shot from below. Is he going to do the unthinkable here? Well, he's caught. Strike team's coming out, and oh, another rail. All right, here's the opportunity. nosfa with the slide around the side, shotgun, and this is going to be his opportunity. He's got to capitalize on it.
Huge opportunity indeed, and now he can kind of control the rail as well. If he'd like, actually, just makes a beeline in the mega and says, you know what, you take the rail, I'll take that trade, and RAISY is totally okay with that as rails exchange from both players here.
Yeah, RAISY no armor stack. This is a little rough. It's definitely scary. He's kind of hanging out near this lower light, but he gets caught. Body cue from down below. Inject does come out. The chase is on. RAISY going to finally find at least some kind of a stack, and now he's asking himself, okay, how do I get back to that control place that I was at? That was pretty nice. Worked out pretty good for me. But only letting nosfa get that first frag, that's probably what was most important about that exchange. It's bound to happen, especially players here at this caliber, at QPL. So another great rail, and nosfa's rail has definitely turned on just a little bit here since he started. No frag from it, and there's another exchange. nosfa's gonna find it. Nicely done.
That rocket prediction was just incredible here. Maybe more. RAISY's gonna make him pay for missing the initial rocket though, and melts him down immediately.
Yeah, what can you do about that, right? Not much. I guess he could have turned around and tried to run, but I feel like that would have been just as painful of a frag as that one was. So 3 frags still separate these two. It is possible, as we've seen, but RAISY does get pretty good position off that last frag. And let's see, nosfa defending from the heavy. And I think RAISY in a great spot. He can slow things down just a little bit if he wants to. Knows exactly where his opponent is. That will always be beneficial to him in this situation of being up by 3 frags.
2 minutes, 3 frags against a RAISY of all people. Let's see what nosfa has in store for us if he can make this work. He does have the slash, so the speed is there. But oh my god, okay, so a little bit of LG, and then nosfa replies with a rocket straight to the face. So decent damage, but again, he's trying to cycle all the items, which is going to waste time, and still can't handle these rails. It's just so close, but no cigar. Oh
Yeah,
no.
I mean, you think about some of those rails early on where opportunities were there, but they just weren't hitting, right? And they didn't really start turning on until later on in the game. Could have been a little bit different. It is super important, especially considering the champions on both these players. But a minute 20 left, and this is just going to turn into the race here for RAISY. He's got some speed. He's still got an inject. Well, let's see. nosfa's got to make something happen. You can't win by just doing nothing. So he tries to make a go for it, but RAISY gets out clean.
Yeah, and again, you can get all the items in the world, but you're down 3, so you got to start fragging. 50 seconds for 3 frags on a map like this. Oh, maybe if they gift it to you, that's big damage, but even then, the reply from RAISY is just enough to push nosfa off and buy time.
Yeah, I mean, if that would have resulted in a frag, maybe there is a possibility, but RAISY sitting pretty good here with this 35 seconds remaining. And the bump and the perfect arc. 40, just that perfect arc. You can see it from a mile away. GG's exchanged, and that means this first game is going to wrap up with a final score of 6 for RAISY, 2 for nosfa. Not a super high scoring game, and I think that was in reaction to RAISY's initial 2 frags. nosfa played, very conservative. He was not being aggressive. He was trying to play to try to regain control. And RAISY was not necessarily pushing it unless he felt like he was going to yield a frag out of that. So game 1 goes to RAISY. It's pretty much kind of what I expected. Maybe thought RAISY might pull a few more frags out, but nosfa did what he could. It just was not enough.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but good utilization of the rail from RAISY as well. Getting a bunch of free rails through the telly at first until nosfa was like, all right, I gotta dodge out of here and not keep going that way. And then you saw as he got more comfortable, rocket jumps to surprise nosfa, attack from different places, having the inject to also negate the damage that he did. So it's just like a free rocket jump, kind of like Ranger's passive. Just an insane plays from RAISY. And again, a comfortable, confident RAISY is just insane to play against, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, right? Because obviously, RAISY the winner here, but I do think that RAISY, when in the time that between 0-0 to 0-4, where he had a 4 frag lead, I don't know what it is. It's RAISY's movement, it's his shots, it's like how he attacks, but it just looks like, super confident mode. And then I'm not saying he looks less confident, but I think he kind of goes more into reserve mode, right? Almost survival, like just win the game. So that first 5 minutes I thought looked far more deadly from RAISY than the last minute. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you have the higher frag score at the end of the game.
Well, I think that's what makes him so deadly in general, is the fact that he could put on the acceleration at will and then just immediately disappear off the map and leaving you no opening at all.
Right.
It's very frustrating. It's frustrating to the point where chat gives a shit about it and complains about it. And he's like, he plus backs all the time. He's like, yeah, he's trying to win. And he does it in such a good way, too, where he forces his opponent to play super aggressive in these disadvantageous positions and just eat rockets and LG through choke points. And that's the way that you win these. So RAISY can close out a game aggressively, defensively, however he wants, and that's what makes him so scary.
Yeah, I mean, and not only that scariness, but he also just had full control, right? And you're asking yourself, what do I need to do? Well, if you're not hitting those rails like nosfa wasn't early on in the game, then you just have far fewer opportunities to actually make something happen. So it's one of those cases where RAISY did great, and unfortunately nosfa couldn't quite keep up with that pace. Hitting those shots could have led us to a different game, different outcome. but as they say, hindsight is 2020. So we're moving on to Vale Panoth. We've got Ranger on nosfa and RAISY on BJ. And what do you think about this one as we think about Dire Orb versus the dual wield and what we might see out of these two?
I always tend to favor Ranger because of the Dire Orb. It's so versatile. You get the burst damage, you get the redirect, you get the mobility, everything. But against RAISY, I don't know. I don't know, man. His rockets and LG are absolutely nuts. And being able to pick a BJ on here, close quarters combat, I think it might be the pain train for nosfa. If he could maybe disengage and play a little bit more distance on this one and utilize the rail a little more, it might be beneficial to him. But we will see as we are live on map number 2. RAISY starting off with that heavy pickup right off the bat and going straight down to the rail.
Oh, yeah. And that's really no surprise right there. As, we have the opening seconds where RAISY's going to pick up that heavy. Oh, caught nosfa as he was jumping over to that mega. Did manage to land a rail. It's answered back with a nice rocket shot, but bit of a slower start here. However, RAISY's like, okay, I know where you're at. I know what you've picked up. We're in the first few, opening seconds of the game, and was able to land yet another rail. So expect this first frag to be pretty explosive here as rockets firing out. We're gonna have another battle here over the mega potentially, but nosfa, yeah, he was holding on. Oh, missed that rail, but 0-0.
You love that play, nosfa knowing that he's pinned down and using the rocket jump again. The passive for Ranger, doing less damage to get out of there. Make sure that he doesn't take any rail damage. Ooh, and the Dire Orb play, I like that one. Takes a big rocket though to the back. Does steal away the heavy. RAISY
That
now.
was perfect.
Yeah, so many rails coming out from RAISY. Here's the dual wield. Oh
Oh my God, dude, that was so 5-head right there. That was incredible. And that's why, dual wield can be so nasty.
no. Yeah, absolutely disgusting. Pushes him onto the jump pad and knows he's gonna have to come back up, and then he's like, I'll kill you when you get back. Don't worry. It's a round trip ticket on me.
That's where the game truly goes to slow-mo and you hear the player, no.
Exactly.
It's like you know exactly what is going to happen in the next 2 minutes. It's the worst. So nice rail through the railing there to also grab that mega. Now knows exactly where his opponent lands. Another rail, follows up with a second 140. And the hammer of RAISY is coming down as 2 minutes in. He grabs his second frag, and he gets that heavy. This is exactly where we were on DM6 10 minutes ago.
Oh, the shotgun doesn't come up for nosfa, no. And yeah, I thought maybe playing the distance game against RAISY might help, and no, RAISY's just hitting these rails, and nosfa, again, struggling to hit rails. So that makes the game one-dimensional. It makes you have to force into close quarters, and that's, again, another deadly way to go down, as RAISY wants that with a dual wield. There he is, jumping literally on top of nosfa. nosfa cannot buy a rail to save his life. This is going to be bad.
It is kind of bad. I mean, we're seeing the pace of RAISY definitely pick up some more. So we got rail on rail, and RAISY knows I'm not going to win this one. He backs off and still lands the rail. He is in danger zone right now, but just look at this positioning 40. This is nutty. He lands 2 great rails. He puts himself in a defensive spot to land that second one, and then easily cleans up. And nosfa is definitely hurting a bit. He is going to be able to dire up to the heavy to grab that away, but I kind of feel with the score of 0-6, we should see 5 minutes on the clock, but it is 3 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock, and that just seems wild. Finally, nosfa has to be able to stop RAISY, and he does as he ticks him down and finally gets his first frag.
Puts his frag on the board, a little bit of stabilization here. Nice rocket jump using that passive again. Trying to chase RAISY, but he needs to hit this damage, and he's just struggling with these rails.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's got to be one of those things that is going to be in your toolbox to try to defeat someone like RAISY. I mean, he's going to do that to you. You've got to be answering back on that damage. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself just kind of, coming back into the fight, but being a little bit weaker each time. It's going to result in a frag for his opponent. So nosfa doing everything he can to try to keep some kind of control, to try to take at least one of these major items back into his hands. Rocket jumps up to the top level. Mega's still a long ways away, and he really has to, unfortunately, give up the heavy there. Now, how does he, you know, get back in at this point? He's got to wait for the dual wield to come out. There it does get popped. The orb goes out. It does nothing. And RAISY is hungry for blood. Another dual wield frag, 1-7.
And even though you're up by that much and you have a decent stack and you have dual wield, it's still kind of crazy to just drop onto your opponent's LG like that. And that just shows the level of confidence RAISY's playing with right now. He's just like, yeah, if you make a great play, fantastic. But I have a feeling you might not be able to, so I'm just going to do this. This is how I want to play.
I mean, Forty, can we just stop for a second and, like, imagine what it must be like to play Quake being like, oh, my rail is totally just going to eat them or my, you know, my LG is going to eat them for breakfast. Like, I'm just going to jump on top of them and do that. That would be a glorious thing. I dream about that, but I never actually came true for me.
I just want to be able to hit like 12% LG. One day, I'll practice a lot. There's the dual wield again, pushing him off the churro. The dire orb coming in, barely missing the rocket damage on that one as nosfa, small victories, able to steal away the heavy, but both players extremely weak, and nosfa still trailing by 7.
That's the second time RAISY's also gotten away from a fairly major engagement just by the skin of his teeth. And, you know, if that could have been a conversion frag for nosfa, that was the second time I saw that one happen. It could be 3-8 versus the 1-8. This is a tough deficit to claw back from. And one of the things he's got to do in order to actually claw back is be able to clean up those frags. But RAISY just doing too good of a job both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and again, this is the RAISY that can just put on the brakes and play super defensive and vanish off the map.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how small the map is. nosfa has to, oh my God, he just gave him a haircut with that rail. Just the tip of the head. It doesn't matter how small the map is when RAISY's so good at playing defensive and can just disappear. nosfa's just in a world of hurt right now. Down 7, 330 left. There's a dual wheel trap. Okay, okay.
Oh, all right.
He had the answer that time.
That was like, now maybe you're getting a little bit too confident, but that was dirty. I love it. RAISY, though, still looking good on this one as he gets hit with yet another rail. nosfa, can he bring this one back? Good reaction on that. Dire orb into the rocket. I like it. So still, though, 6 frag deficit. That is a hard one to make up. Jumping rail misses. Gonna rocket jump up to the top. Double rocket jump. Does land a nice rocket. Can't hit that rail. It would have been so beautiful.
Wow.
And there he does finally grab it. And another one. All right. This is nosfa's time to bring it back.
Yeah, he's making a strong argument for it, at least. Nice little shimmy there to avoid the rail. And he's got perfect timing on that Mega. So cycling the items while getting the frags he needs, but he needs to keep the damage up high. And this is exactly where RAISY's so good. But look at that. Now using the passive more, moving around better, and hitting these rails, nosfa heating up.
And I like that, right? In most situations, it's RAISY who's doing the surprising. So you might as well use what tools you have in your belt. And I think, right, throwing off surprise, although that one was just he sent him an invitation, 40. He's like, hey, I'm going to be there in about 1 second. And RAISY was ready for him the moment that he got there. Next time, don't text your buddy that you're going to show up.
Don't
just
drop
show
the
up.
pin.
Yeah.
A little brutal, but again, at that point, he didn't have much of a choice. Had he maybe gotten the rail swap earlier, he would have been able to get the frag.
Yeah.
He hit a big direct, but yeah, you got to start taking risks at this point. And that's some good LG from nosfa. Still down 6. He's able to grab this heavy and maybe make a play off the spawn. Oh no! To the heavens! Oh my God, he just got floated.
That is the worst when you look around and you can't even tell where it's coming from. I was watching through nosfa's POV and he was just kind of like, what's going on there? There it is. There it is.
Get the bucket.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Swish. 5-11. This one's definitely going to go back to RAISY. But RAISY's playing phenomenally. That was a great form coming out from him today.
Yeah, really, really strong play from RAISY. But I love the fact that nosfa's still in it and he's not giving up and almost gets this frag potentially. Nothing to lose at this point. Push on in, but RAISY's going to be able to capitalize on that. 12-6 with 1 more minute of pain for nosfa. still, I mean, as we saw earlier in the set between Tox and Cygib, you play until 10. You never know what's going to happen. You just keep playing, keep fighting. Good rail from nosfa. He's going to drop down and hit another great rail. 4 frag
right.
deficit.
I mean, think about some of those early frags, too, that, you know, RAISY just got away with 20 HP or 35 HP, and this could be a 10 to 12 game right now. He's still going to give it his all, orb up, and try to get behind him. The flank doesn't work. RAISY's going to get the LG kill with the dual wield, and that is 8 to 13. And RAISY takes game 2.
Convincingly. Convincing game 2 after... Bro, no. Well, put the RAISY stamp on it. That's official.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, someone in chat mentioned that kind of like gray ranger skin.
Yeah.
You know, and I do gotta say, I know people are like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I said in chat, I was like, that thing is practically like the bright green keel of Quake 3. Like, I just feel like you can see it from a million miles away.
Yeah. You may not be doing yourself any favors. Maybe.
I won't question his decision over that. So, RAISY takes game number 2, looking to try to close this one out in 3. Not going to have that nail biter that we thought, you know, maybe we'll get it, because RAISY wants to ruin our fun by having some fun of his own. And actually, it's been great to watch him in both these games. I'm totally kidding. But as we go on to the third and final map, we're going to Ruins, and it's going to be a Visor versus Nyx. And when we were looking at the picks and bans, 40, this is the one where I was like, I feel like this is RAISY. Like, he wants to be here all day, every day on Nyx versus a Visor. You know, I think this does not look great for nosfa, potentially trying to take this one with at least 1 win under his belt.
I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle because, again, we mentioned the aggressive and defensive ability of RAISY, and put a Nyx in his hands. If he gets the lead early and he's playing defensive and he's got a ghost walk, like GG. Just throw your keyboard out the window. So we will see exactly how it plays out. Hopefully, he's got a little something left in the tank, does nosfa, so he can try and get one map on the board. But RAISY's just looking so strong, so dominant right now, and it just snowballs, right? He might come out the gates with a super aggressive ghost walk play and just in the first 30 seconds absolutely demoralize nosfa. We'll see, because it's the RAISY show sometimes, and he'll just be like, you know what? I feel like doing this. Like, this is just what I'm going to do. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, RAISY's gotten that early lead in the first 2 minutes, had full control in the first 2 minutes. It's just been a barricade that nosfa's not been able to quite bash through, and he needs to, you know, sip or chug a pitcher of Kool-Aid, 40 Lions, and he needs to Kool-Aid man his way through that wall. Just, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like all of his problems would be solved if he just picked Keel, but that's fine. I'll save that lecture for another day. As we're going to get into map number 3 for the first featured match of the day, nosfa versus RAISY. RAISY officially grabbing the series, but trying to make it 3-0. We're live right now on Roots of Sarna.
We are, and let's see if RAISY can duplicate his efforts from the last 2 maps where he's got a quick 2 frags and full control. So far, he is going to make his way over to the Mega, immediately holds off on that. And this is interesting. I like that. Does catch a rail coming out from nosfa, but he'll immediately go back and just grab that Mega. Now, timing is off here. Unclear what nosfa knows at this point. But RAISY in a great spot to at least contest this heavy and then back up and make his way over to that Mega. So here we go. It's popping up. He's going to grab it. Oh, no. Fighting on the stairs was not the best idea. RAISY in the best position possible. First frag on the board, and here might come that quick 2. In fact, I think it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Oh my God. He just blew up the car and then walked away, not looking at it, 40.
That's just the most cold shit I've ever seen. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, man. That is, you hate love to see it, don't you?
It's as if Nyx had the vision, but he did. He just insane. What a way to go up 2-0. And again, nosfa has to be slightly demoralized, but there's still a lot of game to play, so he has to try and hang in there. But again, stuck down below this jump pad yet again.
Yep. I don't think we're going to see a repeat performance, but RAISY's got everything. He can run away, and if he does, nosfa's still going to play this one slow and steady, you know. And he does have a little bit of a stack. He's doing everything that he can, but RAISY's just doing a paint by numbers, and every single time he sees just a little pixel, there's a nice rocket. Got to follow up to that one. Nope, he's going to slip down, grab that light. Oh, misses that rail, but nosfa's like, I'm done with this. Let's go. Let's play.
Now, I don't want to assume anything, but was that RAISY kind of playing with his food? I would say yes. I mean, come on. That was just RAISY being the gatekeeper. He takes a rock and he finally backs off. But RAISY was having a little too much fun right there, I feel like, with nosfa. And oh my God, just these rockets just adding up. And here comes the aggressive Ghost Walk. He's going to go for it. Buckshot to the back.
Oh, man. I mean, at this point, this is the scariest version of RAISY that you can get. I don't think there's a scenario that runs through his head where he's like, I'm going to lose it, unless he gets up and walks away from his computer right now. And that's scary, right? Like when he's like, yeah, I'll try this. I'll make this shot work. I'll trap him here. This is not an opponent I would want to be up against right now. And we hit that 3-minute point, 40. It is 4-0. But I feel like the score doesn't represent the absolute domination that RAISY's been dishing out here this entire map on Ruins.
I don't think it does either, but what hurts the most is the fact that Dan is right, and that is what's going to keep me up at night. As another Mega goes into RAISY's pocket, 4-0, no signs of stopping, and again, he's using all the sound cue. We already saw this. Okay, nosfa, luckily, it doesn't run into the shotgun blast again, jumping across that gap, but RAISY's he's playing in a way where it's just like, hey man, you do something and I'll just counter it. Like I'll play around your sound cues, I'll play around the pickups. Like I don't have to do anything. I'm in cruise control mode right now.
That's exactly what it feels like as I'm watching this. You know, just smooth sailing, and just not a whole lot you can do to combat it. So nosfa's still not gonna give up, and he should not. You know, 4-0, you can make that up in this situation. I think, again, Ghost Walk has just been the bane, right? When he's gotten close to it, RAISY can use it to back off. He's also used it in an aggressive manner. And at that point, you just don't even know how your opponent might use it. That might be even scarier. So RAISY continuing to just pick his battles and not necessarily overcommitting if he doesn't have to. It seems like he's slowed down just a little bit, but I think that's because nosfa's been hitting some shots and definitely means some business.
Wow, the rocket. And yeah, he just doesn't seem challenged. He doesn't seem bothered by any of the stuff that nosfa's trying to throw at him. A comfortable RAISY is a scary, scary RAISY right now.
Yeah, and then you know, I tend to agree with chat, talking a little bit about the champion picks overall. I felt like they certainly benefited RAISY, especially when he was able to get into that comfortable style. You can't really anticipate that, but you've got to, you know, feel like you're in a position where I'm going to be effective versus my opponent in the map and with the champ pick. So RAISY in the corner this time. What can nosfa do? Well, we see a rail into a quick Ghost Walk, but nosfa running after him. Might regret that decision as he get electrocuted down for RAISY's 5th frag.
It's just brutal. What do you do? What do you do besides just start thinking, you know, I'm going to get out of here in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I just got to hang in there. Just got to hug the ropes and I'll be done with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I have zero. Oh, man. So much damage. And that has also just got to not feel awesome at all for nosfa. I don't know what you do at this point, right? Your opponent has that Ghost Walk. You've got to try to burn it, but with RAISY, I just don't think you can. It's a hard plan, right, to execute, I think, right? There he used it in a defensive manner, but I do not know the answer to that question, 40. This just RAISY looks too good right now.
Yeah, and it's very, very scary here. And it's also, again, just so unbothered. No matter what damage he takes or where nosfa is, he's just like, all right, whatever. We don't have a fight. I guess we can have a fight right now. nosfa, good job following up and converting off that rail. It's still trailing by 4, and so much damage he took from that battle.
Yeah, came out of that battle with what? Just over, a little over 25. I guess he's just, 35. Picks up that mega. And he just really hasn't had the stack either. He's been getting kind of leftover major items here and there. He will finally actually have grabbed both of them in this situation. So if the most important thing, I don't even think a frag is the most important thing here in the next little round, but probably trying to keep some sort of control. Of course, he's also down by 4 and needs to make that. He knows exactly where his opponent went to. And RAISY just too smart here. Up the side, does go up the jump pad, decides to ghost walk. That was probably a good idea. We do see nosfa seeing a little trail behind him, but he can't get the angle 40. He's going to sit on that heavy, but now it's time that might be the bigger enemy.
And this is just why it's so frustrating, because RAISY knew, like, okay, if you commit, I'll just ghost walk and I'll just run away. The items are synced up, so I'll get one eventually, and then it'll just repeat the process. Like, how often can I make you frustrated and pissed off? For these last 2 minutes is essentially how RAISY's going to play this.
Yep, and now RAISY's going to go back to the Ruins clubhouse, where it's hard to get in and out of. He pops that vision, but it is not really going to help him at all. A little early on that rail. 2 minutes remaining. 4 frags seems doable, but RAISY is just not letting it happen. Their first rail to open things up. Doesn't look like he's able to go after. Sees RAISY popping up to the back. Playing cheeky here in the final moments, but there is nothing he can do.
Nope. And this is just pure, yeah, come get me. I'm going to have a coffee. I'm good. 4 frag lead. I don't have to do anything. And that's the most frustrating, right? It's like if a boxer went up to the other boxer and was like, you get a free shot, go ahead. But then just dodges everything. It's just like, damn it.
Right. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, RAISY's just staying on top of it. Knows with that vision, but again, it does nothing here. Situation through the doorway. RAISY with the rail. Ouch.
I think I'm going to have to ask him, why are you such a bully? I'm just kidding. Oh, man. He timed that ghost walk so well right after the vision was going to be cut out. Just missed that rail. There might be a frag here for nosfa, and he does get one. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Less than a minute left to go here. RAISY is going to end up taking this series 3-0. And unfortunate, nosfa had some good moments. It wasn't a complete stomp, except for when it was. And, it's unfortunate. We'll see nosfa drop down to a 5-4 record. Very, very worthy opponent to fall to. Like, nothing to be certainly ashamed of. We all know where RAISY has been throughout the past few seasons here of the QPL and where he wants to go. So you're definitely playing, one of the best in the
You lose.
Nosfa's like, get me out of here, man.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That was too funny.
Brutal. That was brutal. That was brutal. Let's bring back the creatine cowboy, see how he feels about what we just witnessed here. Dan, I don't know where you're at. Bring the broiled chicken or whatever you're eating. Hi, Dan. How are you? What do you think?
Have you been? Can you hear Dan? You think we would have just let you talk for like 30 seconds without being like, Dan, we can't hear you. We can't hear. No, you're not muted at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't VMix.
Yeah, I mean, you were, but not to us. So that's what makes this whole thing
Oh,
hilarious.
so
to
you
me.
were street. Oh, that's even funnier because everyone's like, you literally did that, Wheaton 40. You just ignored him for. He was saying, Dan will not say anything more intelligent and insightful than what he just dropped.
Yeah.
And there's no way he could recreate that.
You
that
all missed it.
statement that
It
he
was
just
beautiful
made.
prose, really.
I mean, I'm
casting, guys.
pretty sure, given his that little advice he gave there, like I think I'm ready for QPL now. Like that was solid. I wish everyone could have heard that.
It's been such a good day. Dan, how do you feel about what we just witnessed?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. It was brutal. Let's just summarize it as that. It was brutal. Credit to nosfa, but he went up against a player who's just playing on another level recently.
Yes, as we take a look at the stats for map number 3. The breakdown for the weapons. And yes, nosfa just ran up against a brick wall that is RAISY, getting stronger and stronger as we get closer and closer to the finals. And that is just RAISY imposing his will on his opponent. And we might see more and more of that, and it's only going to spiral more and more out of control, which is terrifying.
I mean, he's looking in really, really great shape. And we kind of talked about it a little bit, 40, not too much, but this is going to be an exciting finals this season, right? I really do think we're going to see some wild stuff take place at QuakeCon between all of the different folks that I think that have the potential to maybe walk away as a champion. Seeing RAISY in this type of condition right now, as we still have many weeks left to go, this is really exciting for what the potential for the finals will be.
Yeah, we are going to see some crazy stuff, both from the players and Dan and I, because we are going to rip each other's shirts off and shave Quake symbols into our chest hair. But nevertheless, I do believe we're getting RAISY in here for an interview. That's neither here nor there. And a bench press contest. We got a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, buy your tickets. See you guys at QuakeCon.
Real content.
Real, yeah. We're getting RAISY in here to have a little chat with him and see how he feels about that. So just going through the microphone check and everything. But yeah. Fantastic first featured match. Unfortunately for nosfa, not so much on his end, but again, running into a brick wall, confident, collected RAISY that can just both play aggressive and defensive. Nothing more frustrating in the world, really. Because again, even when you feel like you have a chance, you have full item control, it's because he's just gone off the map. He's disappeared and you can't find him.
I thought what was really impressive was just the efficiency of RAISY, as you say, right? Like every time he pressed, it turned into a kill pretty much. It wasn't any real kind of pre-game before then. It was, he knew exactly the moment he needed to go in and he got a kill. And off the back of it, he didn't even really need to defend. He just hit.
There really are some moments, Dan. It's like it's that movie action star where they do that thing where they like foresee what's going to happen in the next 49 seconds and then they do everything. Like that's kind of, especially on DM6, that's how RAISY felt, right? Like from that mid-level to the rocket jump over killing him at Mega. There were just so many moments like that it's why I keep saying like RAISY felt almost robotic, right? It is almost perfection. But then there's other times where he's just playing like a solid RAISY. Like, well, it sounds like we have RAISY now, so I'll wait to ask this question.
RAISY?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Congrats.
Thank you. Hi.
Congrats.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I'll try to do my best to understand. Hey, like so, RAISY. Sometimes when I watch you, I feel like I watch two different RAISYs, right? I watch like the very disciplined, just RAISY, good aim, good decision making, playing the game like you would expect someone like your caliber to play. And then I think there's some times where there's this RAISY that just is so confident in game that you begin to pull off these shots that I didn't even think they were possible. You begin to attack in a way that looks like it has been, orchestrated to result in a frag. This is my perspective. Do I sound crazy to you right now? Or do you feel like there are moments in the game where you also sort of feel that way, where there's almost like a flow versus the just using your raw skill sets?
Well, no, you are certainly right. There are times when I manage to pull things off the way I plan them to. And when they happen the way I mean for them to happen, then it looks like as if everything just works perfectly in my favor. And then there are times when I fumble my movement, I miss a crucial shot, or whatever else. My opponent reacts differently than how I anticipated him for, and then things don't go so smoothly anymore for me. So depending on how well things work out, decision making and planning ahead, there are times when I perform way better than I sometimes do some other times. But generally I do have like a game plan behind what I'm doing, even if it's like micro decisions in the heat of the moment. I still have, like, because of experience, I have like an expectancy of, oh, if I do this, then these are the possibilities of what's gonna happen as an outcome. And sometimes they happen the way I anticipate them for, other times
Sure.
not so much. This
Awesome,
time it
thank you.
happened in my favor. Like most of the things I tried actually worked out really well.
Maybe that's why. Maybe it was just one of those games where everything that you were planning and executing really worked out. But congratulations, great job.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats, RAISY. I actually want to look ahead to finals now, since I don't know if we'll speak to you before then. So, I mean, as somebody who has now been in and around the finals pretty much every event yet, unfortunately not had the belt yet, what, in your opinion, needs to change for you to finally take home that belt? And what have you been focusing on that will take you to that next level? Basically, I want to see, from your opinion, how are you now going to win QuakeCon?
The main thing is that I should stay in the upper bracket. If I can do that and not have a map disadvantage in the best of 7 grand final, then I might just make it happen and win it. But for that, I really do need to stay in the upper bracket, because I've gone through the lower bracket a few times now. I am familiar with that path, and it's not an easy one.
I agree. Well, congrats, RAISY. I have a very simple question for you. What is the one thing food-wise you're looking forward to in Texas? Is there anything that you're just dying to eat?
In the hotel, there's a chicken salad that I really like.
That's still kind of healthy. I thought you were going to go with something just
Texas
barbecue.
chicken salad is not healthy, my friend.
Well,
that's
it was
This
yummy.
is why you look like you.
That's probably true. I'm going to have 3 with mayonnaise. RAISY, congrats. I look forward to eating chicken
Congrats,
salad with
RAISY.
you.
congrats.
And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. See you
Congrats.
guys.
Take care. I love it.
I'm offended, Dan. All right, it's probably healthy. No, you're
I
right.
gotta try this chicken salad, is
yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
thinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta. Wow, let's go. The first thing I do when I get there, I'd be like, "Where's the chicken salad?"
Do you know who I am? Where is my chicken salad? All right, it's been a long day. We got one more featured match on the way. It's going to be Sirius versus Zenaku. Don't go anywhere. We'll try and keep it together for the next set, and we'll be back shortly with more Quake action.